Hello, welcome students. So this is teacher Brenda here and welcome to my 10 minutes math channel. I will try to finish by 10 minutes for today. Okay, so here today we are going to look into year 5 mathematics, topic of money, and this is part 4 in which we would learn a few terms here such as what is dividend, what's bonus, what's debt, and what's credit. Okay, so we learned such terms for today. So let's look at the first part, a dividend. Now, what is a dividend? Now, before we can understand what is a dividend, you should understand the idea of shares. Okay, so what are shares or who are shareholders? Okay, let's say you have a certain amount of money. Okay, you have a certain amount of money and you choose to invest this money in a company. Okay, let's say you want to invest in Apple. Okay, Apple is a very famous company. So you go to the share market and you buy Apple shares. Apple sells its shares at a certain price. So maybe one share is a certain US dollars. So you buy a certain amount of shares with all the money that you have set aside for investing in Apple. Now you are officially a shareholder, a very small, probably, percentage. You have now become officially a shareholder of Apple. Okay, so what will Apple do? Apple will do its business of selling and marketing, and finally end of the year it would have something called a profit. Okay, Apple will declare, okay, this is our profit for the year. We have made this much of profit. Okay, now with this profit, we are now going to pay our shareholders this much of percentage. Maybe Apple says, we are going to pay our shareholders 15% dividend. So dividend is the sum of money paid by a company to its shareholders as a reward of investing their money in that company. Do you understand? You had money, you wanted to invest, you chose Apple. So Apple, when it makes its profit end of the year, it will decide to give you a reward called as dividend, and that's usually expressed as a percentage. It could be 5%, it could be 10%, that's up to them and up to that year's performance. Okay, this can always change. All right, let's look at the next term here. The next term here is called bonus. What is a bonus? Now, your parents, most probably they are working. Okay, after end of the year, they might receive a sum of money because they probably worked well, they had, good performance. So their company or their boss decided to reward them with something called as a bonus. It's a sum of money that you add to your wage. Wage is your salary. And you get that because of good performance. Okay, so that is the first definition of bonus. Now, the second definition of bonus is, remember, you are a shareholder. Okay, now the company has paid you dividends, right? It has paid you dividends first. Now, after paying dividends and after other payments and things like that, the company can still give you more money by calling it as a bonus. That's extra distribution to shareholders. Okay, if you're a shareholder, after the dividend is paid out, and they do just simply to increase your motivation. They want you to invest more. So, of course, it can also be the other way. Bonus is not like something that must be given. Okay, that is, if they have the money, if they have made a good profit, they can give you two things. If you're a shareholder, they can first give you a dividend, all right? That is a certain percentage, or they can even give you a bonus. Now, it doesn't mean that all this has to be in terms of money. This can even be paid in terms of shares. Say they give you a bonus of 200 shares, everybody gets 200 shares, something like that. That's also possible. It still falls under bonus. Not everything has to be in denominations of money. Okay, so clear with bonus. The third term that we are going to look in today is debt. Okay, debt. Now, what is debt? You see this girl with the hands on her head. Yalah, sakit kepala, headache. Okay, so that is what someone owes to someone else. So usually it's in the form of money. Sometimes you can even have in other forms such as favors. You owe someone a favor. That's also debt. But usually we take it to be as money. Money that has been borrowed but not yet paid back to the lender. So this is, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but it can put you in a lot of trouble if you do not know how to manage it well. Okay, debt is all about management. If you know how to manage your debt, okay, then your debt can be used to your potential, to your profitability. If you are smart, then you know how to manage your debts well, then the debts is not a problem. Okay, there can be good debts. For example, you buy a house, okay, with the hope or the investment that the value of the property would increase. You have to take a loan to that, and that would put you in a debt situation. But if you know how to restructure your debt or pay it off earlier, if you learn some finances or financial mathematics or financial education, then you would know how to reduce your debt. You don't want to be in debt. Okay, so let's move on to the last term here, okay, which is credit. Okay, here we go. Now, what is credit? Credit is defined as a contract agreement in which a borrower receives a sum of money or something of value and repays the lender at a later date, generally with interest. Now, let me explain it in simpler words using the credit card as an example. So now you have a job, okay? And you go to the bank. You don't even have to go to the bank. Sometimes you go to malls, you'll find agents there. Hello, come, buy, have our credit card. All they want to see is a pay slip. So you must have a pay slip. Okay, if you want a pay slip, you have to be working with some organization or company. So then the bank will easily give you something called a credit card. Okay, what does this credit card have? It has a certain value in it, maybe 10,000 or 15,000, depending on your salary. Okay, depending on your personal finance. Okay, the bank will decide how much of the credit card value that he could put inside that card. And with that card, what you can do is you can make purchases. You can buy things up to that value. So the bank has given you a credit of up to 10,000. Okay, so you receive this sum of money in that card. Okay, but it doesn't mean that they're going to start charging you interest right when you give you the card. They only charge you interest when you use it. So let's say you went to Tesco or any other supermarket and you bought something for 1,000. Okay, all right, so you would now have to pay this 1,000 back. All right, but the credit card allows you to pay later. So basically, they'll give you about 20 days of interest free. That means they don't charge you interest. But after the 20th day, this 1,000 ringgit that has been charged to your credit card, they will charge you 18% interest on it. Okay, so that means now you don't pay back 1,000. You must pay back 1,000 ringgit plus 18% of 1,000, which is, let's calculate here, 18%, okay, of 1,000, let's say, okay, cut, 180. So you bought something for 1,000, but you know your interest free was only for 20 days. After that, the bank would charge you 18%, which means now you have to pay the bank extra 180 ringgit as interest. Welcome to the world of credits and credit cards. So if you do not know how these calculations are, then you go and buy something for 5,000. Then you buy something for 2,000. The minute you exceed 10,000, your card will be blocked. Okay, and the minute you don't pay these payments, your card will also be blocked. And very soon they will send you notices, pay, pay, pay. And if you don't have the amount to pay, they will declare you bankrupt. All right. After that, you cannot take any loan from any banks. So be careful. Okay, that's why we teach you all this in schools. Okay, so if you know how to manage, okay, the debt and the credits, okay, you know how to take advantage of it, then you become a smart investor. Okay, or at least you are literally or financially, you know, your financial literacy is good. All right. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything from it, do like, do share, and see you for other lessons. Okay, till then, have a good day. Bye-bye.